Everybody, welcome to this week at MBE. Big said we should start with some bling. So bling is always good when you got a billet intake manifold sitting there. So that one is finished. So we actually ran that today. The machine stopped, so now we'll make another half tomorrow. So they are really pretty, and like the things we talk about, you know, I think there's a misconception that our billet manifolds are taller than a typical cast one. That is not true. Typically they're shorter, and the weight difference is anywhere from 12 to 18 pound difference. It's significant. If that's important to you, and then again, if you don't want to do a billet manifold and you want to do a cast, we don't mind doing that. So, and for any of the rules or anything, anybody has to run a cast, we can make this cast, no problem. It's not an issue. And then, all right, let's go through the shop. You can see we've been running these. So these are ready for Op 2. So Joey will start running those in the morning. We'll knock through these. These should be done, I would hope, by Tuesday. And then we're going on to more billet manifolds. So that's good news. This one's in line here for a soft chamber. So we do soft chambers even for cylinder heads that aren't our own. I mean, we service everybody's cylinder heads. So that's what we're here for. We're here for engine builders and racers. So this just came in here. They just wanted actually this was an update. We updated somebody else's porting and putting a soft chamber in it for his power header, and that one will be ready to go. And then let's go in here. So we got a max pull with the blower manifold. This is Mr. Kowalski right here. That's who this is for. So the blower manifold, because we're an oval port, we had to weld the corners and everything, and then that'll go back in the CNC machine, and then we'll surface those flanges so they're perfect. And then from there, either Bob or Ian will blend all that and match port everything so it's perfect for the blower. So we switched to the Indy manifold for the blower stuff here. So we're using that on all the conventionals and the Big 9 also. Honestly, the service from Diane over there it's just impeccable. It's been perfect. Oh my gosh. If all the vendors were as organized as her, it'd be great. Okay, and then we got our MBE symmetrical head. So that's the manifold we were looking at in the CNC. And then if you come in here, and this way, maybe to show you in there, see how it's just nice. Everything's perfect. And like I said, one thing nice about this, the weight difference and the power difference, it will make a lot of power. We do not copy a existing cast manifold. We start from scratch and we build it all in the CAD. So proper taper rates, everything designed for your engine size and RPM. That's why we offer different ones of these. So a lot of work doing all of that. I'll be honest with you, a billet head is easier to do than these. But truthfully, now that we've done so many, they're getting easier and easier as we go. So it is exciting to be able to make stuff like this. Truthfully, it's a dream for me to be able to design and make stuff with all the people here. I don't do it on my own. Everybody's involved in all of this. That's for sure, because you can't do it on your own. And just more stuff to work on. And then we're just getting names on everybody's stuff. The orders have definitely started coming in. For sure, the last 2 weeks have been very, very, actually the last month's 3 weeks, been very busy on the phone, but we're good. We got castings. We got more castings showing up that we're low on, but we're looking good on everything. And that includes the CIDs with the solid and the waters and everything else. And you can see we've been making runs of intake manifolds, so we'll have those finished too. And we got a set of, this is for Mr. Lafferty. He wanted us to show his cylinder head, so we updated his. This is a twisted wedge Ford, so a twisted at wedge 11R. So we redid the intake port, exhaust port, and the chambers. I promise you, they look way different than they used to. And look at them. Look at how nice they are now. Look at the valve job and everything. And Ian's workmanship, which is pretty amazing. That is just really nice work. I don't care who you are. That's nice work. But the most important part is when this goes on the car, it's going to make a lot more power. If we can look at these numbers, this is the before and this is the after. So let's just pick a lift. We got 40 CFM right here at 700. That's decent. We got 50 at 800. So these are big numbers. And this was a CNC cylinder head when we got it. It was already CNC'd. Intake ports, same way. I mean, you're at 40 CFM here, 40 here. I mean, the mid-lift numbers just outstanding. And then, even up high. You're up 30 to 40 there too. But so this thing will respond to that. Those are big numbers. And it's not like you can just go in and make it huge. You have to work with what you have. And we were able to do that. So I think he's going to have one kick-ass set of twisted wedge heads. And we're just waiting on valves for that. Did the valve order today, so we should have valves here in a week or two. And then just more stuff coming into service. So we'll do all that. Those are in here for an update. We've updated that stuff in the past. Our billet head is a huge upgrade to that, but hey, some guys are just like, can't afford to do that, so no problem. We'll update this stuff for for Mike Moran's customer, and we'll get that thing hot rodded up for him for sure. It'll certainly improve it. We could never get it to what ours is, but that's okay. That's what we do. And then just more stuff to service. And then this was the Ford. We were working on a Ford blower manifold the last few weeks, and it didn't line up to the port at all. It was the intake manifold was like 300 thousandths larger than the port in areas. Well, Ian's got all that finished now. Now we can look at it. And you can't tell, this was all weld. We had to weld all this up. Then we go back, machine the flange flat again, both sides. And then had to add a little epoxy to get the taper rate and everything to it. But now he's got something that matches perfect. We updated the cylinder heads too. So in a blower application, I really hope something like this would probably lose, I hope it loses 5 to 7 pounds of boost is really what we're shooting for. And remember, boost is a measurement of restriction. If you ever put a set of cylinder heads on and they make more boost, you are making less power. Not if, you are making less power. The idea is to make the most power per pound of boost, so to create a larger pressure drop, because boost is a measurement of restriction in the intake manifold. So that means when the intake valve opens, if you can create less pressure with the cylinder head, that means more air is going in the cylinder or the explosion is going to be larger. Of course, if you put a blower on it and the boost goes up, then yes, you will make more power. But the cylinder head's the opposite. So yes, so excited about that. Just like we did the top fuel stuff, that was about 3.5 pounds of boost they lost. Those were 7 miles an hour, 3.5 pounds of boost that they lost. And it makes the parts look better too. A lot of people, I hear this a lot, and I think it's complete BS. They'll say, well, it's got a blower on it, it's got a turbo on it, it doesn't matter, it doesn't need that. Man, we've proved over the years that if you can make it more efficient and put a better head on it, the intake manifold temperature will be significantly cooler, so the air going in the engine will be cooler. The parts will last so much longer because the engine's more efficient, it's not detonating, and you're not having to just tune it all up to make power. So we've proved that with all kinds, even the top fuel guys, and they got money to burn, some of them, and we proved it over there. And then some Northeast modified heads that we're servicing, they came in town for the dirt races this week, so they dropped their heads off. So they got, at the Charlotte Speedway, they got all the dirt stuff there. And come here, Biggs and I were doing videos, just showing some things. So this is one thing here. So this is our solid CID head in an LS or a Ford. So we have the solid one and we have the water one. When you look on top, you can't really tell. When you lift them, you can tell. I'll tell you that much. Holy crap. But we do a lightning packages for these too. So flip this one over. Yeah, so you can see this has a water jacket and see the holes for the water, and this does not have any holes for the water. So this head is solid, or this head is solid, and this has water. We do them both ways. So you guys that are the places where you would use a solid cylinder head, or a solid cylinder head would be if you were running methanol and for like a turbo application or a blower application, then that's a good place to use it. But if you're running gas, the heat's just too much. We'd always suggest that you run water. And nitrous applications, they always need water. Anything you do to keep the plug cool will help it. So there is that too. And then we were just weighing manifolds here. So let's just weigh it while we're here really quickly. Okay, I got 2 hands for this one. All right, there's one. Okay, come on, baby. So 30, almost 34 pounds. And then we got the MBE, which I don't have to struggle with. Oops. Okay, you're at 18 pounds. So you can see 34 to 18. Of course, we have a valley tray here, but the valley tray we supply those. They're about 3 or 4 pounds. So the weight difference is still significant, and it's lower. It is not higher. So it's actually easier for your hood scoop. Another one of the misconceptions that our billets are taller. That typically they're shorter. The big block Ford one we do also is much shorter than the trick flow and things like that. So height is not always your friend. There's a lot more than goes into the intake manifold than trying to get the runner straight all the way up. And luckily we got to learn about that many years ago. And making sure the manifold's not too wide and things like that. But some people don't want to listen, so it's cool. We do them ourselves. So I think that's it. That's this week at MBE. Hope everybody had a great weekend, and have a great week. Thank you.